Hello, everyone. It is I, 8 Ball, back at it again. Sorry, no, I just thought I heard something outside. Hello, I am here talking again. Um, I'm just gonna get straight into it because I'm assuming that you read the title. Yeah, I now firmly believe that the primary purpose of Hinge as a platform, um, it's actually a humiliation ritual. It's actually an experiment in who has the fortitude to discover self-worth and who hates themselves enough to keep using it. I honestly think that if you were to investigate whoever was behind it, whoever made it, I think you'd find a lot of FBI and CIA ties. And it should be classified as a torture method. That app is just ridiculous. I had a moment of weakness a couple weeks ago, and I decided that I would download Hinge because the primary reason for it is because a lot of my friends have been just like unavailable. And when I say unavailable, I'm talking like overseas traveling and shit. And I'm not trying to blame my friends for any of this. I'm just saying that like I wanted to socialize, I wanted to meet new people, and I didn't want to just wander out alone all the fucking time. I sometimes do. I sometimes go to gigs. If I can't find a mate to come with me, I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm not going to just be dependent on my friends. Oh, I want to go see music, but I don't want to go alone. Like, no, like I'm going to go alone half the time anyway. So it's not like I'm completely averse to it, but it's like if I want to go out like to the pub and then like sometimes you see someone nice there and you're like, hey, excuse me, you reckon I could get your number, whatever the fuck, right? I'm not here giving you Riz tips. I'm just saying, if not much of that was happening, and I was like, fuck it. I've known friends who have used dating apps. Everyone has some sort of dating app story, which I should have taken that as the first hint. Everyone has a dating app horror story. Everyone has some like appalling experience with them that they always use as an anecdote to tell you not to use them. And I'm always out here like, couldn't be me, right? But I caved in. I was like, fuck it, let's just see. Because a lot of the horror stories I've heard have predominantly been from women. And it's been from women who went on a date with a guy who was like utterly insane, who like she sits down with him and she thinks he's cute and she thinks he's going to be a normal human being. And then he starts telling her about like, like all this like Andrew Tate bullshit, or like he refuses to pay the bill, or he wants to go 50-50 to make a point, or he always does something bullshit and ridiculous on that day. And I'm like, okay, I think my chances are pretty fine because I don't do that kind of shit. I don't treat people that way. I'm a fairly well-adjusted, respectful human being. But you know, I think it sucks for everyone. It sucks for everyone, no matter how well adjusted you are or not. Um, but anyway, I'd seen so many people on social media posting about it, not as in like ads, as in just people being like, "Oh, I caved in and I downloaded Hinge again this year." Blah 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 blah. So I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, so it has some sort of efficacy. It has some sort of, at least maybe some people are finding some sort of date or romantic connection or even just socializing. It's got some sort of utility. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll put my pride aside for a second. I'll abandon my self-worth and I'll plunge in, I'll see what it's all about. And I went through the whole profile making process. I found the few photos of myself that I actually liked because I don't know, I'm not massive on my appearance. I just had to look at myself directly in the mirror there. I think I look okay today. My hair looks all right because I combed it out in the shower and it dried really nice. I guarantee you, as soon as I step outside into the wind, it's just going to be out to here again. It's going to be fucking Frizz City, but whatever. Um, so yeah, I had to find a couple photos of myself that I actually did like, which took a bit longer than I would have expected, but we got there, right? And then you start dating, and well, not dating, but like you start swiping and whatever. And that's kind of where the first, I think, ethical issue comes up in just how how the platform is formatted, something strikes me very wrong and very morally questionable, or it strikes me as morally questionable that human beings are served up to you like a sushi train, like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, like it's a fucking conveyor belt, like literal conveyor belt of human beings, you know. And it plays on your head, it plays on your psyche of like, oh, this girl's cute and we might have stuff in common, but what if the next girl is cute? What if blah 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 blah? Because if you want to be free to play on that app, you only get like a certain number of likes and whatever the fuck that you can dish out in one day, and then it resets for the next day. So it's always playing on your mind. It's always like, oh, this girl's cute, this girl's cute, this girl's cute, but what are the net? Blah 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 blah. And I was consciously aware of it. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I was consciously aware of this effect going on, and I was still. Sorry, just give me one sec. I just need to double check. Okay, easy. I was consciously aware of this happening. I was consciously aware that I was getting played, and yet I was still like, we'll just see. I don't want to throw in the towel on the first day, on the first opportunity, so to speak. I'm just closing my blinds a bit so that I'm not getting flashbanged, you know? And you scroll and you scroll and you scroll. And another thing that I noticed that kind of ticked me off a little bit. This ticked me off. I sound so white American, dude. Another thing that kind of, you know, fucked with me a bit was just like the number of people that were so self-deprecating on that platform. And again, self-deprecation, you're going to find that everywhere. It's a pretty common trait that people have. Most people engage in it. I engage in it, you know. I call myself an idiot, or I say, oh, I'm a rambling moron on the internet, blah, 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 right? But that's because, A, I'm doing that for comedic effect, and B, it's a YouTube channel, right? I have nothing really to prove here beyond I just want to fucking talk. You know, if I was like some sort of bullshit video essay person and I started calling myself a moron, then there'd be an issue, because it's like, why are you trying to lecture me? Why are you trying to video essay me and then call yourself a moron? Like, am I supposed to take you seriously or not? Which leads me into my next point. It's a dating app. And people are out here like showing just the worst aspects of themselves. Not possible, but just showing the worst aspects of themselves. And I get it. It's a coping mechanism. It's a whole thing of like, if I show someone the worst of me right off the bat and they still stick around, then it might be, we might have a chance together. I understand that logic. But it's flawed in my opinion, you know. The number of profiles that I saw, right? Because you can put prompts. You can put little text prompts and it'll say like, oh, me in the wild. Or the most common one that I saw was dating me is like, and then it says blank. And then you can put a photo or you can type out your own little response to it. And I'm not exaggerating here. The number of accounts that had dating me is like, and it was either a chronic headache or like constant suffering or some shit. It was like, dating me is like having a constant headache, or dating me is like, you know, blah, 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 blah. Baffling. The number of accounts that had that, baffling, incredulous. Every time I saw that response, I immediately got rid of the profile. Because not only is it just entirely unoriginal, right? It's so, there's nothing less attractive than someone who just can't fucking think for themselves and they need to use the same joke that everyone else has used, assuming that I'm just going to find it so fucking charming, right? But B, it's so self-deprecating. Like, this is again, I'm not trying to enforce rules on a dating app, but it's like the whole point is to give someone a bit of a glimpse into who you are as a person, so you can kind of gauge if you'd want to get to know that person at all. And if right off the bat they're saying, I am a fucking pain in the ass, right off the bat they're going, I will make you hate me, I am not a fun person to be around. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to take your word for it. Bye. You know, later. I'm not looking at your account anymore because you've told me everything I need to know. You know that you're an obnoxious person, and you think I'm going to like that you're an obnoxious person? Absolutely not. I'm sorry. Like, I know that I'm coming across as really, really rude right now, but I can't express enough how many accounts I found with that one little tagline of, oh, dating me is like slamming your head in a door. And it's like, okay, I don't want to slam my fucking head in a door, so I'm not going to bother with you. Like, I'm saying this as if everyone's pining to date me. No, not at all. But I'm just saying that it really baffled me, and I found it honestly kind of concerning. And from a sociological perspective, it's fascinating just the number of people that all use the same joke and that all directed this like self-hatred at themselves. Well, I mean, self-hatred at themselves, no shit. They were just outwardly projecting this self-hatred under the assumption that people were going to find it charming and witty. And it's like, actually, no. Like if I walked around and I was like, what up? What up, girls? I'm like a massive idiot moron and I'm really unlikable. Who wants to go out? It's like, no. Like, I don't know. It was just really odd. And I don't know, this isn't me trying to be some sort of misogynist either. I'm not trying to sit here and go, oh, women are so dumb, because trust me, again, remember what I said at the beginning of the video. The majority of horror stories I've heard about dating apps have been about men behaving completely unhinged. On Hinge. Oh. Yeah, a lot of those horror stories come down to blokes just being feral. So if the trade-off is some women that you encounter are a bit unfunny and kind of self-deprecating, I'd much rather that than some of the bullshit I have heard about dudes on that platform. So it's a favorable trade, but that still doesn't mean that I can't get mad at. That doesn't mean that I can't just critique it a little bit, you know? So there was that, right? That was one thing that just kind of shocked me and kind of fucked with my head a little bit. The other thing that really annoyed me was the number of people that put on their profiles saying, oh, I hate nonchalant men. Don't hit me up if you're nonchalant and blah, 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 blah. And I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, well, I'm not nonchalant. I care about quite a few things. I like having conversations. I'm actually here to get to know someone, right? I'm not just here to get a quick nut, you know? I was actually looking to find someone that I might actually connect with. So you hit them up. So you send the like and, you know, you match and you start trying to send messages and shit. And then they're nonchalant. They're the one who's sending two-word messages. They're the ones that are like, you know, waiting until... I had one girl, she would only text me like past 11:30. I got a message at like 11:30, 2:30, 1 in the morning of just like, girl. I'd here being like, oh, I don't want a nonchalant guy. And then I send her a message and she doesn't respond until the fucking wee hours of the morning. Doesn't respond until the fucking witching hour to get back while I'm asleep. And it's like, what are you on about? Like, again, the number of people that had, oh, I don't want a nonchalant man on their profile, and then who would they themselves act completely uninterested, completely boring, completely just unfazed by anything. It's like, okay, pot calling the kettle black. Like, Jesus Christ, man. It was so weird. It was so weird. Another strange and disturbing trend I noticed was a lot of people on that platform were just openly projecting their traumas and their personal issues. And again, maybe someone out there finds that endearing. Maybe, maybe that's just their way of connecting with others. I can't judge that too harshly. But what I will say is, if you're going to be on a dating app, I don't know, maybe try and sort out some of that stuff. Maybe try and actually figure out a few aspects of your life instead of just coming on a dating app and just like flagrantly showing off just everything and anything. It was just so bizarre to me, you know, like the number of people on that had like earnest like interpersonal issues, and they were like admitting, they were like, yeah, this is actually a really bad idea for me to be on this app because I actually really should be in therapy. And it's like, okay, go to therapy. Don't tell me about it. I'm sorry. Like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting a bunch of other people's time. You're out here on a dating app admitting that you shouldn't be on it, admitting that you're in a terrible headspace, admitting that you have a lot of personal issues. and you know that this is a bad coping mechanism, and you're out here being like, it's so quirky, it's so cute. It's like, no, actually, I'm sorry. Again, I'd hate to be mean, but it's really not cute. It's really not. Like, I'm not trying to shit on mental illness. I'm shitting on acknowledging that you shouldn't be doing this. You know that you have problems that you need to be sorting out, and then actively choosing not to, and then involving yourself with people, and then getting them hurt, getting yourself hurt, getting anyone hurt, and then acting shocked, you know. It's just bizarre. Genuinely bizarre. Every time I opened up that app, it felt like a humiliation ritual. It felt like there was someone standing behind me, pointing and laughing constantly. And that person was probably me laughing at myself. But it fucking baffled me how bad it felt to constantly use that platform. And I only used it for like a week or less. And even then I was like, this is too much for me. This is more than my emotional state can handle. And I deleted that shit. I deleted that shit real quick after a while. Because it's like, what am I to do? Like, I hate everything about that platform. There are so many unappealing people on there displaying their most unappealing qualities, thinking that it's charming. And I legitimately got to a point of where I was like, I would probably have an easier time, like, leaving my house right now, walking into a pub and just chatting up a stranger. And that's not what I did. And I haven't gotten that desperate yet to just go start chatting up strangers in pubs. But I literally sat there, like, just going through profiles, being like, I could easily chat someone up in a pub. I don't need this app. I don't want to use this app. And it feels terrible to use this app. At least in real life, you can have a realistic dialogue with someone. And if someone isn't interested in you, if someone doesn't really fuck with you, you can at least perceive that. You can at least see in their facial expressions, in their demeanor, in the way they're responding to you. And you can actually figure out, maybe I should back up. Maybe this girl isn't that comfortable. And I can respectfully say, no worries, you have a nice night. And then you can fucking leave. Because on a dating app, you get a message at 2:30 in the morning, and I don't know if that's genuine interest or if you're just responding for shits and giggles. You genuinely can't tell if someone actually fucking likes you on those apps until either you're seeing them face to face or if they're being very obviously into you. And everyone tries to act so nonchalant. Everyone's trying to be like, I actually don't really want to be on this app, but I'm going to be on it anyway. It's like, okay, be like me and just delete it then. Like, it got me to a point of where I was like, I realized the power within myself. I realized my self-worth, and I was like, I should just get up and go out. I should just go out. I would have a much easier time just going out and just having a normal human interaction instead of torturing myself on this terribly designed app made to inflict misery on the people. Like, I don't know. On one hand, I'm embarrassed that I ever did it. And on another hand, I feel pride because I've now realized my own self-worth, and I've now realized that I don't need to subject myself to that, you know? So my message to you is, if you're on Hinge, hang in there and try not to go insane. And if you're questioning if you should get off Hinge, I'll give you the easy answer: get off Hinge. Get the fuck off it, and you will realize a new side of yourself that actually has strength and courage and genuine self-worth. And you can go out into the world, and if you fancy someone, you'll have the courage after this new self-worth has been found within you, and you can walk up and you can politely, respectfully say, hello, I think you look nice. Can I buy you a drink or something? It's really that easy. It's really, for anyone, for men, women, non-binary people, whoever the hell you are. People complicate the fuck out of it. People watch all those pickup artists on YouTube and they're like, oh, women want a dominant man. They want a man to take control. It's like, literally, I'm sorry, like, literally, just be nice. Like, you just have to be respectful. You just have to walk up and, again, Maybe some people do like a really dominant macho man and like, sure, go for it. But I can guarantee you the majority of healthy, functional women that you're going to meet in the real world, all you have to do is respectfully say like, hi, I think you look really nice. Could I possibly buy you a drink and get to know you? That's all it is. That's really all that you don't need to overthink it. I understand overthinking it because you're like, well, what if she got a boyfriend? What if she got a girlfriend? And now not only is she in a relationship, she's also in a relationship in such a way that I'm kind of insulting her by approaching her as a guy. I have that happen a lot. I have that happen where like I see a girl and I'm like, what if she got a boyfriend? And then another thought comes and I go, oh my God, what if she's a lesbian? And I'm like, and if I approach her, I'm like insulting her lesbianity because now she doesn't look like enough of a lesbian to ward off dudes. I don't know. It's whatever. It's whatever. And again, if literally, I mean, worst case scenario, they pull out a gun and murder you right then and there. But like, again, majority of the time, if a woman isn't interested in you, she's gonna go down the more polite, respectful route, kind of out of fear. Because if someone is immediately hostile, then it's going to inspire another hostile response. But seriously, if you just walk up to a girl and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever, and if they say no, if they say, "Oh, sorry, not really into it," or "I have a boyfriend," you don't have to crash out. You can just say, "Oh, sorry, you have a nice night," and then you just fuck off, and then that's just a normal human interaction. Like seriously, don't complicate it. Like I'm being so for real. Like it's not that hard. It's really not. Um, yeah, don't listen to pickup artists. Listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, honest to God, like don't even stress. Don't even stress. My final message for the video is in the eternal words of Ziz, we're all gonna make it, bruh. We're all gonna make it. And remember your self-worth before you humiliate yourself by doing things that directly affect your self-worth. Because you absolutely can. A lot of it's a mind game. A lot of it is a mind game. Don't overcomplicate things for yourself. But that's my rant on Hinge. Over. I hope I wasn't too rude. I always get worried that like when I'm expressing my opinions, I'm coming across as a massive asshole and I'm like actively alienating people. Because it's very easy to come across as a fucking asshole when you're mad about something. So I'll probably have to edit this, cut out a couple things because even though I didn't say anything strictly bad, it still might be a bit insensitive, especially the whole "if you have issues, get off of Hinge" thing. Because everyone's got issues, and that's a bit rude, honestly. So maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's fine. That's fine. We have editing software for that. Okay, bye bye, everyone.